Welcome back to the Habit of Showing Up, the space where we talk about healing through ordinary moments, building resilience, and learning to show up for our lives one decision at a time. I'm Kimberly Sparks, and today I want to talk about something that came to me in one of the most ordinary places, the grocery store. I wasn't having some major life changing moment. I just needed to grab a couple of things before my daughter woke up. But as I walked through the store, I noticed something. I wasn't rushing, and I smiled, not just on my face. I smiled from the inside out because I could remember so many times I walked into that exact same store with a completely different energy. I remember rushing in because I needed something for dinner, or realizing at the last minute that somebody needed a snack for a school trip. I'd be watching the clock, trying to remember everything I needed, thinking about what I had to do when I got home. And then I get to the checkout line and somebody would be taking their sweet time. And internally, I'm thinking, come on, because I had somewhere to be. I had things to do. My life was moving, and I needed everyone else to move with it. But today was different. I wasn't in a hurry. And suddenly, the person moving slowly didn't bother me. The line didn't bother me. The moment didn't feel like something I needed to get through. I could just be there. And it made me think about life. We're all living on different timelines, even when we're standing in the exact same line. Someone might be rushing to get to work. Someone might be picking up groceries for a sick parent. Someone might have a child waiting at home. Someone may have nowhere they need to be. And someone may have just received wonderful news. And then someone else may be trying to hold themselves together after receiving news they never expected. And there we all are, standing in the same grocery store, living completely different lives. There's that saying associated with Maya Angelou: when you know better, you do better. And I think part of knowing better is realizing that the version of ourselves we are today isn't necessarily the version we've always been. There was a version of me who rushed through that grocery store. And today, there was a version of me who had enough space to slow down. Neither moment tells my entire story. There's simply different seasons of my life, and that's where compassion comes in. Showing up for ourselves means having compassion for all the versions of us. The version who didn't know yet, the version who was overwhelmed, the version who was trying to hold everything together, the version who made mistakes, the version who was impatient, and of course, the version we're becoming now. We can learn without constantly condemning who we used to be, because sometimes we look back with today's wisdom and judge yesterday's version of ourselves for not knowing what we know now. And that's not fair. She was living with the information, capacity, responsibilities, and circumstances she had then. And the same is true for you. But I think that compassion also has to extend beyond ourselves, because we never really know what someone else has on their plate. The person who seems impatient, the person moving too slow, the parent whose child is having a difficult moment, that cashier who doesn't seem as cheerful as you think they should be, that coworker who seems distracted. We see the moment. We don't always see the life behind it. And I think remembering that can make us a little softer with one another. Not naive, not without boundaries, just compassionate. Life is always in motion. Seasons change. Responsibilities change, our capacity change, we change. Today I had the luxury of walking through the grocery store without rushing. Tomorrow might be different, and that's okay, because showing up isn't about reaching some perfect place where you're always calm, always patient, and always present. It's about noticing, learning, growing, and when you know better, doing a little better. Action step. This week, when someone is moving at a pace that doesn't match yours, notice your first reaction before becoming irritated. Give yourself one thought. I don't know what they have on their plate, and then offer yourself that same grace. When you think about a version of yourself that you wish had done something differently, remember, you were carrying things then too. Learn from that version of you, love that version of you, and keep moving. Before we close, I want to hear from you. Where are you in the motion of your life right now? Are you in a season where everything feels like it's moving fast? Are you finally getting a chance to slow down? Or are you somewhere in the middle, taking things day by day? Whatever season you're in, I'd love for you to share it with me in the comments. And if you know someone who could use a little more grace for the season they're in, share this episode with them. Because I think the more we talk about where we really are, not just where we're trying to get, the more we realize none of us is moving through life alone. Thank you for spending these few moments with me today. Life is always moving. Sometimes we're rushing, sometimes we're resting, sometimes we're carrying more than anyone around us realizes. So maybe showing up today looks like giving yourself and someone else a little more grace, because we're all standing somewhere in the middle of our own story. We just happen to cross paths sometimes. Until next time, keep showing up one ordinary moment at a time.